Offering proof books to wedding clients is one of the best ways to help your wedding clients stay organized with their images. There are so many images captured on a wedding day that it's often overwhelming to look at each image in a digital folder or in an online proofing system. And when those online proofing systems go offline, or when the digital options aren't compatible anymore, having this proof book is a great way to retain just a great copy of every little image that was captured at a wedding. So if you don't make this an add-on in your package and you don't include it in your package currently, I would highly recommend offering an option like this for your clients to stay organized and so they can have a physical record of every image that was taken at the wedding. I'll show you a few different styles of proofing books and how you might want to organize your own. These manufacturers are no longer offered anymore, but there are many manufacturers out there who offer something similar. So these are just an example. Manufacturers are always changing, so I don't want to list any names now because I'm sure you'll be able to find your own in your own wholesale products with the manufacturers that you like to use. If you don't currently have a manufacturer that you like, that's a great time to go to a trade show or to get with other photographers who do offer sample products and ask them what they like. So I'll show you a few different styles. This first style is a hardcover perfect binding, which means that binding is glued. I believe it's glued. Yep. And this is a 1 image per page proof book. So what makes it different from an album is that it actually has numbers at the bottom to help you know where those images are located when they're looking for files on their computer or on a disk or on a hard drive. That really is what can distinguish a proof book from an actual album. It's a way to organize those images. So as you can see, the printing here in this particular book is a little dark. It's press printed. Press printed usually goes for an RGB color profile unless it's done as a inkjet printing. And it's a way to organize images just by having them in this larger format. 1 image per page makes it feel like an album. And if you were to print an entire wedding at 1 image per page, you're looking at a much larger album than this. This is really just a collection of favorites. This would be like my collection of favorites from a slideshow of about 100 to 120 images in a book. So if you're going to do 1 image per page, you'd be looking at many more editions of books here. So this is a great option if you just want to maybe send a selection of your favorites to a couple. But as a 1 image per page option, you're going to have a really large book and it's going to be pretty expensive to print. Might as well be an album. Another option is a soft cover book. Also, this one is perfect bound, which means it's glued at the edge there. And perfect binding, one of the good things is that it's very affordable, it's easy to put on a shelf, it's pretty lightweight. The magazine pages are of a thinner quality than you would have with an actual album. These images are printed 6 up per page. As you can see, there's 6 on each page, and you can create this layout with different types of layout software. You can export images in the print module of Lightroom to be a certain style of layout, and you can use album softwares to create this kind of thing. What you lose a little bit with the perfect printing, the perfect binding, which is glued, is that you kind of have this inside gap of sorts, which just means you have to flex that binding a little more to get to the inside images. You can see this is what the style would look like if you don't have any borders around the images. It's very clean. You have the image numbers on there to help you stay organized. And at this size, this is about an 8.5 by 11 book with 6 images per page. Each image shows about 1.5 inches to 2.5 inches. Just big enough to see all the details that you need to make decisions and choices about which image you're choosing, but not so big that you're, basically creating an album out of it yet. One more style that you might want to consider is something that you can either have printed from some manufacturers or you can kind of DIY this one. And this would be binding with an off-market leather binding. This would be like a portfolio binding. You can usually find these in art stores. And there's a variety of ways that you can bind with DIY printing. This is done with photographic paper rather than magazine printed paper. And as you can see, it's spiral bound, which is something you can do at Kinko's if you want to go a fast, easy route option to do a quick turnaround. But it's photographic paper, as you can see, the backing of the photographic paper here. So you're only printing on the front, not on the back. And this is also a 6-up per page. These, because this album is actually quite large, this is actually more like a 12-inch by 16-inch album. These images show up more like 2 inches by 3 inches as you're looking at them, more wallet size each image. So it's a little bit bigger, and the color quality is closer to what you would have on a photographic print. So this would be ideal if people need to make selections for a photographic printed album. And that's something to keep in mind as well. Do you want the printing in your proof book to be the same kind of printing, whether it's photographic printing or press printing or inkjet printing that you would have in the final album, so you can kind of get that sense of color accuracy from your proof to your final print. In this, you can also see that there are black borders around these images, which gives it maybe a little more of a formal bordered feel. So you can choose different borders to put around your images in your layouts. You can make it clean, but always including those image numbers as a way to help keep those images organized. So I hope this was helpful in what you might want to look for in proof books as you are considering whether you want to offer some extra options for your clients and help them stay organized. Good luck.